Punctuation marks include full stops, commas, question marks, exclamation marks, quotation marks, apostrophes, hyphens, dashes, colons, semicolons, parentheses, brackets, ellipses, and slashes. We are going to discuss some of these marks in the following slides. The first mark we have here is the comma. How do we use the comma in the sentence? The first use of comma is to separate two independent clauses in a compound sentence. If you remember, when we studied the compound sentence, we said that it consists of two or more independent clauses coordinated or connected via the use of one of the fanboys connectors, the for, and, but, etc. And we asserted that when we use any of these coordinating conjunctions, we bring a comma before them. The second use is to use a comma to separate words, phrases, clauses when they are three or more in a series or a list. For example, Sani can run, comma, jump, comma, and skip. In British accent, we don't put a comma, or in British English, we don't put a comma before and, but in American English, we use comma before and. Both ways of using commas are correct. We also use comma in writing full addresses in sentence form. I live at 2345 Westchester, BLVD, comma, Springfield, comma, L or IL 62703. Another use of comma is to set off introductory phrases or modifiers that come at the beginning of a sentence. For example, feeling anxious, comma, George slowly stepped on the stage. Another punctuation mark is the full stop. A full stop is used at the end of a sentence unless the sentence calls for a question mark or an exclamation mark. Examples could be many. I may say, Joyce went to the shop, a complete sentence introducing a complete thought and ending in a full stop. The semicolon. The semicolon is also used to coordinate or to connect two independent clauses in a compound sentence. It was one of the ways for joining or connecting two independent clauses. So I may say, after class, I went to the Pizza Hut. Then I graded papers for an hour. The first independent clause is, I went to the Pizza Hut restaurant. The second one is, then I graded papers for an hour. These two independent clauses are connected via the use of only a semicolon. Remember, then is not a coordinating conjunction. Then is not even a conjunction. So these are two independent clauses coordinated through the use of semicolon. Another use for the semicolon is when we have a list within a list. The example can help us understand more what does this mean. I love many cities in many countries around the world. Of course, colon here because I'm going to tell you what are these cities. I'm going to explain the cities. So I will say Paris, comma, France. That means Paris in France. New York, comma, in America. Cairo, Egypt, and Rome, Italy. Notice that the cities are separated from the countries by using a comma. Paris, New York, Cairo, and Rome. However, the bigger list of the countries, New York, America, Egypt, and Italy, they are separated by a semicolon. Another punctuation mark is the capital letters. We all know that capital letters are normally used in writing when we write the first letter of the word at the beginning of the sentence, for writing proper nouns such as names of people, Kevin, maybe countries, South Africa, cities, Johannesburg, and titles of places like the champion. It could be a name of a restaurant or a company. The exclamation marks. An exclamation mark is used after expressions of surprise, motion, fear, or delight. I may say, what a superb goal Giggs scored at Highbury. I didn't know you were here. How fierce she looks. Oh, ah, look, and hooray. These are all expressions after which we use exclamation marks. Of course, we all know that a question mark is used to end a question, like what are you doing? How old are you? How are you? When have you been? Or where have you been? Just remember that we don't use a question mark when the interrogative pronoun is used as a conjunction in the middle of the sentence or in reported speech. So when I say I asked them what they were doing, it becomes no more a question. What they were doing is a sentence included within the other sentence starting with I asked them. You will find also that we didn't bring the auxiliary where right after what. We brought the subject and then the verb we're doing because it is now a statement, not a question. So we don't use a question mark here. An apostrophe is used to indicate the possessive case or the omission of a letter or some letters. So I may say the book of the boy or the boys with apostrophe es, book. The book of the children, the children's books. And if the word ends already in s and it is a singular noun like a name or something, so I will add here also the apostrophe s. So the book of a Charles's with apostrophe s, book. Also, the omission of a letter or letters, it is, can be contracted into it's, you are, your, he would, he'd, and so on. Now let's move to the second part of our lecture. That is about the essay structure. Today we are going to talk about how to write a conclusion. But first, let's remember together the parts of an essay. An essay consists of an introduction or the introduction paragraph, body paragraphs, and a concluding paragraph at the end of the essay. Let's remember together what does each part of these parts contain. The introduction is your attention getter. You should start at general and focus on narrow the topic till you come to your thesis statement that tells the main idea of your essay, what you are going to talk about later in your essay. The body paragraphs, and any essay should consist of at least 3 body paragraphs. Each one of them addresses an idea related to the thesis statement introduced in the introduction. and each one of them consists of a topic sentence that tells the reader the main idea of the body paragraph, supporting ideas, and the details that discuss these ideas. At the end comes the conclusion. In the conclusion, you should be restating the thesis statement. That means to say the thesis statement again, to tell the reader or to remind your reader of the main idea of your whole essay. Summarize your arguments, summarize the points you have made in each body paragraph, and you can restate your topic sentences here. And a thoughtful ending, an advice or an opinion or a feeling at the end of the conclusion.